Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about the future of sales. Welcome to Invincible Innovation Live Show. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm Mazor, Kario, product innovation and value creation expert, and I'll be your host. And my guest today, I have a very special guest called Adam. Hi, Adam.
Adi, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Adam Lozen is the co-founder of email outreach company. Adam loves talking entrepreneurship, sales, startups, personal growth, and meeting genuine people that are in on their way of growing journey. Yeah, that's me. I hope. I hope. We're live
I
on
think
LinkedIn.
so.
I hope we're live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook, and you're so invited to join and ask questions and talk with us. Wow, today we have a very heavy. I feel like sales is always a heavy stuff because like there are numbers and there are like KPIs and you need to read them. It's like so. What is the main challenge for a salesperson today?
Yeah, and first, I want to thank you for having me. I appreciate you bringing me on here. Love the work that you do. So thank you first and foremost. So I think the number one biggest challenge, and this is just I always think consistent with salespeople because it's even what you just shared in the beginning, is part of it is just the mindset. Like when
Yeah,
people look at sales, whether you're a business owner, maybe you're just getting into the sales profession, maybe you've been in the sales profession, maybe you're not in the sales profession, but it has this stigma attached to it.
yeah,
And at least people in the States where I'm from, they think of it, and I feel bad for car salesmen because they get a bad rap with this, but
yeah,
they,
right.
yeah, they think of like a used car salesperson with the slick back hair trying to convince you to buy something that you don't want or don't need, which is
Yeah,
not the case of sales. That is the opposite of sales. Sure, there are people that do that, that try to pull the wool over your eyes, but that is not what sales is at its best. So I feel like that's the first thing right off the
yeah,
bat is the stigma that's associated with it. But more related to today, I feel like the biggest challenge, because so much of not just sales, but business is virtual.
you're right.
And so much of sales is around failing, falling down, and trying to get back up. And when you're just behind your computer all day and you're not around your team, you're not around other coworkers, you're not around other salespeople that are also going through those highs and those lows, you have to be extra internally motivated in order to go through the inevitable highs, but more importantly, the lows that does come about if you're in the sales profession.
Yeah. Do you think it's harder to sell when you don't really meet the people and you have a coffee together and meet them in person live?
Yeah, you can never replace face to face. Like face to face forever. I don't care. Uh, we all know where technology is going. Well, we don't know where exactly technology is going, but we
Yeah.
just know it's not going anywhere. So technology is only going to exponentially increase with time. But even with that, we will still never be able to replace face to face and the power of face to face. So, yeah, there are some challenges, but it does give you an opportunity to connect with more people because of what we're doing right now, which is this virtual connection, which,
Right.
just a few years ago, even doing this virtual podcast was a pretty rare thing. So, yeah, there are some challenges, but you can still get in person with people if you really want to. And there's just other ways to sell now that probably didn't exist not too long ago.
Do you think that salespeople need to have these like more subtle discussions, serendipitous discussion about what's going on and not being only strictly like we have a sales meeting and just letting to know each other what's going on, to really not feel alone in that?
Yeah, it's a great point. I mean, we all know the saying, people only buy from people that they know, like, and trust. And we want to be able to get to know someone at a deeper level. Now, I do think that's secondary because if I have a problem or I have a need and you have a solution to my problem or my need, that's what's most important. And what can come from that though is a deeper connection. We get to know each other more. We find commonalities. Maybe that helps with expansion. Maybe that helps with you saying, you know what, Adam, I really like you. I want to introduce you to X, Y, and Z that can help take your business to the next level. So I always think with sales, sometimes we lean too much on trying to create commonality. I always like to lead with the value, lead with the solution to their problem. But as people get to know ourselves a little more, that's when there can be growth opportunities, referral opportunities, etc. But I always like to lead with, "Hey, I have a problem. Do you have a solution? If not, that's okay. But you're busy and I'm busy. Let's move on."
You know, you mentioned that you come from the States, and I'm from Israel. And I always feel like people from the States, like the Americans, are so good in sales. It's like it's imprinted in them in childhood. I don't know how. Do you feel the same as an American?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I know there are amazing salespeople in the States, and it is probably more part of the culture, even just with entrepreneurship, which is so ingrained in the American culture. So, in order to be an entrepreneur, I don't care what you are starting, whether it's a tech company, whether it's a bakery, whether it's anything in between. If you don't know how to sell, your business will go out of business. You either got to learn how to sell, or you got to find someone that knows how to sell. So,
Yeah.
because entrepreneurship is so ingrained in this culture, I do think it is a big part of probably people in America. But just like with anything, part of stereotypes might be true, but there's a lot of people in the States that don't like sales or think that it's
Yeah, of course.
a negative stereotype as well. But I would say probably because American culture is so deeply rooted in entrepreneurship, it probably is a more sales focused culture than others.
Yeah, I feel that I think that Americans feel very comfortable talking about money more than Israelis as I see it, which is very important for sales, right? In the end, you should talk about business. And another thing, I think that you're very polite. Like in the beginning, that you said, thank you for, like most of my guests would not say, be that polite as you are. So it's like two things that you have in you. And it's not all Americans. Many of the Americans do have that, and I think that you've been like only a few days in Israel, but people in Israel are very upfront and sometimes a bit rude. They're not that courteous as the Americans, right? And I think that in many cases, when you see entrepreneurs trying to enter the American market, it's so hard for them. It's like it's almost impossible because they don't understand the way they think and the way they communicate and what they expect from a sales meeting, right?
Yeah, I've spent a lot of time now traveling the world where really is back in last November, November 21 is